if they're going to hire me, right? Like our credit is everything, guys. So I'm letting a few of you guys come on in, but I am so excited tonight to talk to you tonight about credit repair on a whole nother level. And look at me moving my slide, but credit repair on a whole nother level. So that way you guys can learn what it takes. And I am so proud to announce somebody that I know very well that does credit very well. And she is all the way so far. Terry, are you in Philly? Where you at, Terry? Where you at?
Philly, okay.
Where you say?
I'm in Philly.
That's what I thought. So yeah, so we're gonna give you guys just a few more minutes because I see you guys are still coming in. Terry Calder is gonna drop some gems on you guys tonight. Feel free to drop any comments in the messages. We're going to try to respond to all your questions. And if not, just so you know that this is recorded. And if you register today through the link, you will get a copy of the video where you can go back and watch it slow and take notes and all of those good things. And you can always email me at natasha@grarate.com or natasha@loansbynatasha.com. And if you don't follow me yet, you can follow me at Loans by Natasha on Instagram. So it is 6:07, and we know your time is valuable. So we are going to go ahead and get Miss Terry started. Terry, I want you to come to the screen, bring all your energy, and tell us every single thing. Well, I know you can't tell us everything, but tell us what we need to know so that way we can maintain some good credit and make some major moves out here in 2025.
Absolutely. And so first, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. I absolutely positively love real estate. I literally was talking about real estate earlier today and saying, not only has it changed my life, but it's changed my boys' lives. It is how it was the catalyst to me building wealth. And it is still and will always be one of my streams of income. And so I'm excited to share this information because, guys, can I just be real? Success leaves clues. Success leaves clues. And there's a reason why real estate is in so many people's kind of portfolio, whether you're a big investor or whether you're just a first-time home buyer and you're looking to buy something to leave to your family. Ladies, can you guys see my screen right where it says leveraging your credit to build wealth? Okay, good. And I just want to start right there real quick because look at what it says. Leverage your credit to build wealth. That's the first thing that we have to kind of talk about is changing our mindset, because when people think about credit, they automatically think about debt. And so let me just say that if you think about credit in these two ways, using your credit for income producing information or income producing assets. What I mean by income producing information, that's even like courses, master classes, conferences, anything that's going to give you the information you need to scale and level up. And then, of course, income producing assets. That's like things like your real estate. And so when you use your credit for things that are going to bring you a return, that's how you can actually have a surplus to get some credit and not just get into a bunch of debt. Now, there's one thing I'm going to say right here. Now, look. So for those of y'all don't know me, when I sip my water, Natasha don't even know this. When I sip my water, that means I'm about to say something inappropriate. Like, no, I'm playing. Say something inappropriate.
Well, at least we see it's water. At least we think it's water.
I know that's right. Like I have to for my throat. But let me tell you, one of the biggest things, the reason why I'm sharing a little bit about my background is because one of the biggest things we see in the credit industry specifically is there's so much bad, inaccurate information out there. You will have somebody, look, that's why we're doing this, guys. You will have somebody get one thing deleted from their credit report. Then they start a website, they start a course, they have an Instagram. And this is why loan officers and people who are trying to help you build your wealth have such a barrier to help you guys get there because there's so much bad information. So I have 20 years of experience. I'm board certified, credit score certified. I used to work for TransUnion. I'm the only person in consumer credit that used to work for a national credit bureau. I'm also the credit coach for Make Real Estate Real. The only reason why I'm sharing that, guys, like this lady talking about herself. No, I'm sharing it because I want you guys to know that the source matters. The source matters. We're going to set some things straight. We're going to set some things straight today. So first, let me start with this. Hold on, let me go back.
And while you're going back, I want people to know, because I don't know if everybody knows that you have 3 credit bureaus. You have TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. What she's trying to tell you is that she works for TransUnion, and everybody, and I know this is probably coming in a presentation, I've gotten 3 calls today about Credit Karma. So I'll let you go into that later, but TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax are those three bureaus, and she worked for them. So this is someone that has been in the insides of letting you know how things really work. So let us know how they work.
Listen, and I hate to say, because when I say I have over 20 years of experience, y'all are supposed to be like, no, you look too young. That's what you were supposed to say. Ain't
Put
no
that on the chat.
Put that on the chat. But guys, the reason why I shared it, look, can we have some fun while we build wealth? That's just my personality, right? But this is where, guys, before social media was here, before credit repair was a thing, before you had all these people scamming, I was helping thousands of people across the nation. So I'm going to share with you guys some of the real things that you need to do to increase your credit scores quickly. I'm talking 30 to 90 days. That way, if you are somebody who applied for a mortgage and maybe you got a denial, you can do some of these things to increase your scores quickly and then go ahead and reapply and go in 2025 with your property. So the first thing I want you guys to get right here is, what is your credit score? So I'm going to say action item as I talk about this. Guys, step number one is to know where you are right now. And I'll say this, I think I saw a little on one of your last sessions, Natasha, where we were talking about 800 credit score. Guys, you do not need an 800 credit score to buy a house, to buy an investment property.
Again. Look, everybody out here waiting. Somebody, I got a 740, but I want to wait to get it to 800 before I buy a house. Well, you're going to spend 40 more thousand probably every year for the wait, right? So yeah, we get that all the time. But fair is 500 because fair not 500 over here.
No. This is based on what is out there in the industry, but really you want to have a 620 to 640 is what we recommend when going to apply for like an FHA mortgage, a 620 to 640. But there are lenders that will do a little bit lower. But guys, I want you to have a benchmark. So 620 to 640. Obviously, 700 and above is good. 800 and above is better, but you can get some things at 620 and 640. Let me just address one other thing right here. Look, nugget right here. Let's say you get to a 620 and you get a mortgage and you work on your credit even more because you're somebody who wanted a mortgage at a 700, 800. Guys, you can refinance with the better credit score. Go ahead and just be good enough to get your mortgage pre-approval, get your property, and then when your credit increases, refinance for a better rate or better terms, and that's it. Okay, look, got it good. All right, so why were you denied? Another nugget right here, guys. And I hope that if you have a notebook and pen, write these things down because it's going to help you. A lot of people say, I applied for a mortgage, I got denied. And then they stop right there. They're frustrated, they're overwhelmed, they don't do anything else. To figure out, why were you denied? So another thing that I see is a big mistake with credit is that people are focusing on the wrong area. You're focusing on one medical collection that the lender does not care about, but the lender is telling you have maxed out credit cards. You're supposed to be paying down your utilization and worrying about your credit cards, not necessarily worrying about that one $20 medical collection that they don't care about.
You don't care.
So you don't look. She just confirmation. She says she don't care. So the next thing is, why were you denied? Was it no credit at all? Was it late payments? Was it utilization, collections, bankruptcy? Guys, understand why you were denied so that you focus on just that area to help you have an increase. Now this is the Credit Karma part. Woo, side child. Look, let me drink my water. I'm gonna say it slowly for everybody in the back. Credit Karma is the devil. She is dramatic. I am.
All the clients think their credit sometimes is super bad, but most of the time that is better than it was. But I never heard anybody call Credit Karma the devil. So you don't go.
The whole devil. And I'm gonna tell you why. First of all, everybody about the stuff that you get for free and the stuff that you pay for. You want a free coach or the coach you had to invest $2,000, and you're going to get something very, very different from the things that you invest in. So when you get something free like Credit Karma, you get exactly what you paid for. But the biggest thing, guys, is the Credit Karma uses a Vantage scoring model. Always remember, the real estate lenders, the business credit lenders, they use the FICO scoring model. So I joke about it, but in all honesty, what you never want to happen is that you go to Credit Karma, they tell you you're a 700. You excited, you hype, you go apply for your mortgage, and the mortgage lender tells you that you are a 550. We joke about that's a hurt feeling.
Happened 3 times today.
Today. that y'all, you talk about being demotivated. That is a hurt feeling to be super excited about buying a house and then find out that your credit scores, guys, for a mortgage pre-approval, 5, 10, 15 points can throw you completely off. So imagine 20, 30, 50 something points. So your very next step is to pull your FICO credit scores. I recommend Credit Check Total and My FICO. Guys, these are soft inquiries. They will give you a copy of your FICO scores from TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. So know where you are before you go to the actual lender. You want to use the same scoring model. And I'll say real quick, I like Credit Check Total because, guys, look, Nugget, you can get a tri-merge report for $1. If you got $1, put one in the comments. $1, okay? And then that will give you a free trial. And then after like 5 days, you can cancel. That way you're not charged monthly, but you'll have a copy of your reports.
And I just want to chime in there and say, and that's when you kind of don't know, right? And then what we do with us, and they are only doing it now because credit reports are like $91 now, believe it or not. So we do a soft pull as well. So if you feel like you're ready, we can do the soft pull and let you know if you are before we do a hard pull, which is new, right? Like we've been doing this probably for like 9 months. So with that being said, we can let you know kind of where you stand without pulling your credit. And a lot of you guys, we can do a credit score as though it's 580, but once you get to that 620 and 640, you're getting better interest rates and you're qualifying for down payment assistance. So keep in mind, and I always tell people, if you settle for the 580, something's going to break, the furnace in your house, something. You can't go to Home Depot and get a quick credit card with a lower score. You can get a mortgage, but you might not be able to get some help. So these tools will help you not only just get into a mortgage, but we want you to keep your home as well and prepare for a rainy day.
I love what you said, Natasha, right there about, even though you can possibly get even approved at a 580, 600, just because you can doesn't mean you should, especially when you might be able to do one or two quick things that have your 620, 640 have a much better process. Look, come on, somebody. Look, we were talking about Love Jones earlier, y'all. Listen, if you remember Love Jones. All right, so what impacts my score, guys? Take a screenshot of this if you need to. I know that this is going to be recorded also, but guys, these are the 5 categories that go into the FICO scoring model. This is important to you because you want to understand the biggest categories that impact your score. And when you are somebody who has a lower credit score or you're rebuilding, maybe, look, life be life in sometimes, right? Maybe you're coming back from a bankruptcy or a death or a divorce or an illness, right? Like life happens. This is where if you focus on the areas that have the biggest buckets, the biggest percentages, that can help you increase your score a lot faster. So always remember the 2 biggest buckets are amount owed, which is utilization. That's your maxed out credit cards. That's your maxed out lines of credit and keeping those numbers really, really low. Let me give you a benchmark right here. Guys, for credit utilization, this is for your credit cards and for your lines of credit. 30% and under utilization is good. 10% and under is better. Come on, somebody. 30% under is good. 10% under is better. Remember that will help you tremendously, especially if you just need a couple of points. Paying down some credit cards can help you. And then payment history. Even though it's called payment history, that's really all of your negative debt. And so that's like your late payments, collections, repo, anything of that nature. Then you have the smaller categories, which is credit mix, your type of credit, length of credit history, and new credit. Okay. Now, this is what I was just talking about in that payment history bucket, guys. Payment history is basically your adverse credit, your negative credit. That was the biggest bucket, 35%. Bankruptcy, foreclosure, defaulted loans, collections, charge-off, repos, past due, high utilization, too many hard inquiries. All of these things factor into your credit. Now, let me say this right here. Let me say something like, this lady give me a lot of bad news. Let me say something positive, okay? This is where, as you're thinking about your credit, you may be saying, I have this, I have this, I have this. When we're talking about leveraging your credit to build wealth, and we're talking about real estate, what I want you to kind of get in your spirit is you don't have to be perfect. You just need to be good enough to get your mortgage pre-approval. Because honestly, even paying your mortgage on time for 12, 24 months is going to help you rebuild your scores also. So if you have some of these things, you can't have all of them. Now, we need a lot of credit repair. We're going to help you, right? But if you have some late payments, some collections, there's still some things that we can do to actually get you to your goal. Is that okay, y'all? Yes or yes? I'm used to everybody being in person. Yes or yes? All right. So 5 tips, guys. Remember this. I'm going to stay on this screen for a minute as I talk through these different things. Oh, I love the thumbs up. 5 tips. So number 1, we talked about pulling your reports, and I love that Natasha shared that they do a soft pull, guys. If Natasha pulls your reports, and I recommend that being the very first step, especially because she does a soft pull, and say she says there's a little bit of things you need to work on. That's where you are going to, as a consumer, go to the My FICO and Credit Check Total, because that consumer report is going to look very different than Natasha's report. Natasha's report is for a lender. Sometimes it can be very hard to read, especially if you're not used to looking at credit reports. You're not a credit expert. You want to absolutely use Credit Check Total or My FICO and get a consumer copy. That's going to be much easier for you to read. It's going to be in color. It's going to tell you where the late payments are, who to contact. So pull your reports. The second thing is, what is the problem? The reason why Natasha's on them doing a soft pull first is excellent, because she's going to say to you, and we usually say risk factors. I've been doing this a very long time. It will say risk factors, and it will say too many inquiries, like the credit history, high utilization, late payments. It will give her risk factors. What are risk factors? Risk factors are basically the things that are making this loan too high risk. We need to lower some of these risk factors or get them out of the way so that you then can be approved. Now, when you get your consumer report, it's not going to say risk factors. It's going to say high utilization, collections, late payments. You need that to repair your own credit. That way you know where to focus. Now, number 3, your past due accounts. About to sip my water, y'all. Past due. So this is where strategy matters, right? So this is where I also see people focusing the wrong area. You can have a $50 medical collection and have your current card note passed out. And because you're watching all of these uneducated, no experience YouTubers, you're doing 10,000 letters to get this $50 collection done when your current card note is past due. Guys, all of your current accounts, your current card note, your current credit cards, your current student loans, your current personal loans, anything you currently, all of your open credit right now, you want to make sure that that is current and on time, period. So if you have anything past due, and I'm being real, y'all, you will get more points by bringing your car current, by bringing your student loan current, by bringing your personal loan current, than that collection is from 3 years ago. Y'all are focusing in the wrong area. And let me explain why, right? Because, and I'm paying attention to my time, but this is where Natasha asked me to be here, because we want to dispel some myths and really help you guys understand the logic behind that. They want to know how you currently pay your bills. And if you're currently past due, that signals to a lender that you may be going through a hardship. Well, they don't want to give you a $300,000 mortgage if you're going through a hardship right now. If your car note is behind right now, that's saying hardship right now, as opposed to a $50 collection from 3 years ago, right? The other thing is, I want you to think about the payment. Let's say a personal loan or a car loan is like $300 a month. Well, they're about to give you a mortgage for $1,000 a month. So in the mind of the lender, if you cannot pay $300 on time for your car note, for your personal loan, then we may not be able to approve you for a mortgage. It would be $1,000 a month, or $1,500 a month, or $2,000 a month. So the mindset. So your next thing when you're working on your credit, and nugget right here, you are not paying for credit repair. Now, this is where this right here, we use the word credit repair, but we're showing you how to repair it on your own for free. We would rather you use the money for your utilization, for your credit builder accounts, for your down payment, for your appraisal, for your inspection, as opposed to paying some bogus credit repair person $100 a month for 24 months. That's $2,400, and you could have did it yourself in 90 days, right?
I don't know, Sarah. You said that free kind of fast. Can you repeat that sentence with that word free? And if y'all heard it, I would love for y'all to drop free in the comments. But can you repeat that free part? Because I just heard free. I don't know if we heard the whole sentence.
That's right. Okay. We are showing you how to repair your credit for free. We would rather you use your money instead of paying Joe Schmo bogus credit repair person. That's their name, right? We would rather you use your money for paying down your utilization, making it pay for delete, for your down payment, for your appraisal, for your inspection. Guys, it's not that much work. It really isn't. Most of you can do it so much faster in 30 to 90 days. So this is why we're telling you specifically where to focus. So bring your past due accounts current. The next thing is utilization. If you want an increase in your credit scores quickly, make some payments on your open available credit cards. Now, let me pause right here, because I heard it in your head. Somebody said, I heard you. Somebody said, ma'am, if I had the money, my card wouldn't be maxed out. I heard you. Whoever said it, you said it just like that too, right? This is where you can be very strategic, meaning you want to look at your credit cards with the lowest credit limit. Listen to what I'm saying, guys. The lowest credit limit. If you have a credit card for $500 and a credit card for $5,000, and they are both maxed out, you could be looking at your credit reports. I'm making it simple for the purpose of giving an example. You could be looking at your credit reports and saying, I don't have $5,000 to pay this card down. You don't necessarily have to. What you can do is pay the $500 card down to a zero balance. What does that do? That brings one card to 0% utilization, and the second card may still be 100% maxed out. But the FICO scoring model, guys, it averages your credit utilization percentage. That means with $500, now this is a hack, y'all. Don't miss this hack. I did a whole video on it. This hack has gotten people 50 to 80 to 90 points quickly by focusing on what credit card they pay down, and will help you increase your scores of less money out of pocket. So when you pay that $500 card down to a zero balance, the FICO scoring model will average it, because one card is now 0% utilization. The other card is 100% utilization. Now your overall percentage is 50%. That means your utilization went down, your credit scores went up significantly. Okay, so this is where your action item. Pull your reports, make a list of your credit cards and or your lines of credit. Look at the credit limit. Okay, I have a $5,000 card, a $1,000 card, a $200 card. Make sure the $200 card is paid in full. Make sure the $1,000 card is paid in full. And then the higher cards, guys, I'm going to tell you to just not charge it anymore and make your minimum payment, right? Just don't charge it anymore and make your minimum payment, but focus on the lower credit limit cards. That will increase your score significantly. And then the last thing, guys, is pay for deletes. You can negotiate a pay for delete with some lenders, specifically for collections, guys. And so let me give you a couple of quick nuggets. Let me use Natasha's word, for free, on how to successfully do a pay for delete. So step number one, pull your reports. The report will let you know what collection agency is reporting it to the bureau. Now, I saved somebody right there, because some of y'all are negotiating with people that aren't even on your credit report. Nugget. You want to always negotiate with the creditor reporting the information, especially with collections, because creditors will send something to 3 or 4 collection agencies. Somebody could be calling you, somebody could be mailing you something, but you want to negotiate with the one on your actual credit report. The next thing is look at the actual amount that's owed, right? Normally, rule of thumb, you can get between 40 and 60% knocked off, right? So if it's $1,000 collection, you may be able to do a pay for delete for like $600, $500, $400. What I recommend you do is have the money in the bank the day you make the phone call to them. Now, why? Because half of your negotiating power is being able to settle it that day. And you let them know, hey, I have a debt on my credit report. I went through a hardship. I'm looking at getting this taken care of. How much do I owe? You always gonna get somebody, you owe $1,000. Can you pay today? Because they always try to fast talk you, right? And this is where I let them know, no, but you make an offer. No, I don't have $1,000 today, but I do have 300 or I do have 400. Guys, make them an offer, because the only thing they're going to do is say no or say yes. If they say no, they may counter you. No, we can't accept 300, but yes, we can accept 4. Now you done got $1,000 collection off of your credit report, increased your scores, and it was only $400, not $1,000. As opposed to you saying, hey, I just had, first of all, don't be disrespectful. Don't be like, it's $1,000. You tell them you got $17.25. Don't do that. They're going to hang up on you, right? But reasonable. And then this is where always get it in writing, guys. And the last nugget right here is that after you negotiate a pay for delete, once you actually make the payment, always keep your proof of payment, number one. And number two, I'm going to tell you guys, dispute it with the credit bureau afterwards, immediately afterwards. Now, why? Because this is a nugget. Look, because the collection agencies, they will take your money and close it out in their system, but not do their due diligence to delete it from your credit report. You guys did a pay for delete specifically to have it completely removed. That way your scores would increase. So you want to initiate a dispute, because a lot of times what they'll do is they just won't respond to the dispute. And when they don't respond, the credit bureau has to, by law, remove it. Okay. And so you want to do that dispute process immediately. That way, by the time you get to Natasha, your account is no longer in dispute. We don't want to apply for mortgages while accounts are in dispute. And that account will actually be deleted to increase your scores. So, guys, if you focus on just those areas right there, significant increase.
And she said everything, guys. I don't even have a comeback on that, because I was like, wait, don't dispute. But if it has a zero balance, we're okay with the dispute. So she said it just perfectly. But don't go dispute all your accounts with balances. And then what happens is your score drops. But as a lender, we have to take them out of dispute or get to a zero balance before we can do anything with you. So disputes are tricky, but if you do it the way she said it, right on the money.
Right on the money. No, you never want to apply with a bunch of, and that's another, to be honest, that's why we're doing this, because one of the biggest things, look, let me dispel a myth right here. One of the biggest things that uneducated, bogus credit repair people do is they just dispute everything. So they really don't know what they're doing. And then people go apply for a mortgage and every single account is in dispute. I done seen credit repair people dispute good accounts. I'm like, this is a good account, paid on time, no late payments. Why did you even dispute that? That's because people are not paying attention to what they're doing, and they're just disputing everything and doing more harm than good. So that's why if you go back to the beginning, we said, what is the actual problem, and only working in those areas. So to summarize it up, guys, these are some of the credit repair basics. I talked about utilization, your past due accounts, your negative accounts, guys. If you have negative accounts on your report, that soft inquiry with Natasha first. Let her tell you, yes, you can go forward, but for any reason it's a no, that's when you're going to start your dispute process for anything negative. Only after she tells you that you're not able to move forward. You have a couple of little things, okay? And when you are disputing negative accounts with the credit bureau, a couple of quick nuggets right here to help you have success. Number one, do not do your disputes online. Especially don't go to Credit Karma and it says dispute this account, and y'all click the dispute button, and every single time it comes back verified. But more importantly, your best shot, guys, listen to me good. Your best shot to get something negative deleted is the very first rounds of disputes. I've been doing this for years. When I used to like do hands-on credit repair for people, this is where the very round number one is when most things get deleted, period. That's it. And so you want your first shot to be a valid dispute from you directly, not some online dispute where it was just one button from a third party, okay? So never do your disputes over the phone. You're always going to do your disputes in writing with all three credit bureaus, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. I always recommend that you send 2 forms of ID, driver's license and utility bill, proving it's you, the consumer, and not some credit repair agency, right? And your driver's license and your ID, your driver's license and your utility bill should have your same name and address, okay? I do recommend post-COVID, because more things were kind of getting lost. If you do send it certified, that might be $3 or $4. Spend $3 or $4 over spending $500 for a bogus credit repair person, okay? Send it certified. And guys, they have 30 days by law to respond to your dispute. Nowadays, it happens much sooner. So this is where we're in. What month are we in? We're in February. You guys can apply with Natasha in February. She tells you, yes, great, congratulations, we're about to go look for a house. Or we have some areas of improvement. You guys can pull your reports, do your disputes, and go back apply to end of March. Either way, you're still ending 2025 with the property, right? Because now you have a roadmap to success. Hard inquiries. Hard inquiries themselves are not negative. Excessive hard inquiries are negative. So if you see hard inquiries on your report when you're disputing your negative accounts, you can include your hard inquiries in that same letter. These accounts I want to dispute, and these hard inquiries are inaccurate. Listen to my language. Inaccurate, unrecognizable, okay? And the last thing is credit builder accounts. I'll share my YouTube. I have free content, a free home buyers list that gives you credit builders account. I just got a message on one of our videos like a couple of days ago. Somebody went from a 500 to a 755 and just bought a new construction house with the credit builder accounts. Guys, always remember when you're rebuilding your payment history, adding credit builder accounts, if you have no positive open credit at all, is something you can do right away to build positive payment history and give you a score increase. And I won't go through this because Natasha covers this, but basically the lenders are looking at credit, cash flow, and collateral, right? How is your credit? Your cash flow is your verifiable income, right? your collateral is like your down payment, which with the higher credit scores, you qualify for some down payment assistance, a lot of times first-time home buyer grants. These are some people that we have helped, that have helped them buy properties. That, guys, it is just, there is no, and I just got to be me for a second, there is no better feeling than turning the key in the door your very first time to your property. And sometimes it may even be your first investment property. Sometimes, when you've gone through the process, God will bless you to be a blessing. You help your son, you help your daughter, you help your nephew, your niece, you help other people. You never forget that day. I remember the day for my first property, for my first house. You never forget that day. And so the takeaway there is, don't be discouraged, right? You are a couple of steps away from doing it. And usually credit is one of those barriers. That's why we're helping you right here. The last thing I'll say, you're probably like, you said the last thing. The last thing I'll say is, bad credit is expensive. Guys, pay attention to the climate that we're in. In 2025 is still a good time to buy. It's always a good time to, well, now is a really high time to buy. Now's a high time to rent.
A very high time to rent. And your credit score requirements to rent in most situations is higher than the credit score requirements to buy. And I tell people every day this, that you get 0% interest back on rents, right? We work hard every day, we go to work, but we're going to get older one day. Mortgages are paid off in 30 years. So if you rent somebody's house for 15 to 25 years, you were 5 years short of having your own free and clear house, something you can use for retirement, something you can use for wealth, something you can use for your next investment. So it's so much bigger than just owning a house. And I did a segment today to all my renters that just want the pool and the doorman. You can have that, but buy your property, live in it for a year, rent it out, and then go rent somewhere else. But have something you can go back to in a dire emergency.
You better look. I agree and agree. And even just like, your tax write-offs, building equity, real estate is still one of the number one ways, not only to build wealth, but to transfer wealth. Transfer wealth. So think about the generations coming behind you. I won't go over all these numbers because you guys will get the replay, but the reason why I was saying pay attention to the season that we're in, you can save money just by having better rates on your mortgage, your car, your credit cards. And this is just an example of a house, a car, and credit cards with good credit being $1,800 a month. The same house, the same car, the same credit card debt being over $3,000 just by having bad credit. Same exact things. So guys, I want you to take this information and understand it will help you get things, but it will also help you save more money in your actual pocket. So set a SMART goal, right? From today, now you have this information. My goal, okay, I want to buy my next property by, March 15th. Okay, what is your plan? Well, my plan is step number 1 is to apply with Natasha with the soft pull and see what else I need to do. I'm also going to get together my documents. I'm going to make sure I have my W-2s, my tax returns, put together a plan with action items. And the last thing is to work your plan, right? Create the plan, create action items in the deadline, and then actually work your plan. Nobody, and I'm going to say it right here, nobody should be working on their credit for 6 to 12 months. Everybody should, especially when you only have to get to like a 620, 640. This should be 30 to 90 days, 6 months max if you need to rebuild payment history. That's
But guess what, Terry? When they work with the companies, I'm not going to say the name, that charges them a monthly payment. It's advantageous for the credit repair person to make it take 2 years because they're constantly getting a monthly payment. So I would like to hear your feedback on credit repair companies that charge that monthly fee, because I feel like it really puts people in a very long-term situation to be a buyer.
They're the devil. They write with Credit Karma. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, right? And I will say a name, but I'll say a name that was in the news. That way we can back it up.
Let's start with an L.
So the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. So I'm going to give you guys facts here because you can Google this and look up the article. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau sued creditrepair.com and Lexington Law. I've done videos on them. Listen, Natasha, if you want, I'll send you the article.
I didn't even know. But whenever they say that, I'll be like, girl, let me get you to somebody else.
No, and you can do it. And mind you, I put free content out there because this is where there's no excuse at that point. The only investment is your time. But yes, it is a very, guys, hear me good. It is a very predatory business model to pay somebody monthly for a goal like credit. And just what Natasha said is the reason why. I don't care who the company is, to be honest with you, because if you're paying somebody $100 a month, they have no incentive to try and do your credit quickly or accurately the very first time. So the biggest thing that we see is that with credit repair companies that charge monthly, they purposely drag it out. So that business model is predatory. We don't do that. You can invest in coaching and services, or we have free content so you can do it on your own. That's the reason why not one of our services is a monthly fee. Okay. And then this is a QR code. Natasha, I'll make sure you have this. We have an ebook on how to increase your credit scores, but this will also take you to our YouTube. And I also have a free home buyer playlist that will walk you through credit repair, pay for delete, pulling your credit reports, all of those things. And you can find me on Instagram at Care Credit Tools, and on YouTube, Terry Cowser, the credit expert. And so I will stop sharing my screen. I hope that was helpful for you guys. I hope that you got some nuggets. And I'm just going to end by saying, look, congratulations in advance on your next property. Amen.
Let's go. And I know we have a few questions. So Mecca, if you want to share, I saw a few questions in the chat.
Yeah, because I can't read that. I don't got my glasses on, y'all.
That she got it. It's coming. We got some help around here. Some technology help.
Yes, so this is where wages garnish. And mind you, you want to look and see how it's actually reported on your credit, because normally a wage garnishment is not on your credit report. Normally that may be on your actual pay stub, but it may not be on your credit report. So if it's on your credit report, it could be a lien, it could be a judgment, it could be a collection. So you're still going to go through those actual steps because a wage garnishment is not normally on your reports. So pull your reports and see who is actually reporting it. And if it's a collection agency, then absolutely have your proof. Dispute it with the credit bureaus directly. You can also dispute it with them directly, the agency reporting it, and have your proof that the wage garnishment is now over. Great question. All right, great question. So good news, bad news. Okay. And so this is where absolutely, if you're about to pay that account in full, go ahead and do that, because bringing down that utilization will give you some points. A valid late payment can be reported for 7 years, guys. A valid late payment can be reported legally for 7 years. So you can do a couple of things. If this is your current creditor, what I actually recommend is you picking up the phone and speak to them. Guys, nugget, do not forget that these are your creditors. And a lot of times they will work with you. That's why these credit repair people make situations worse. Pick up the phone and say, so first, pay it in full to a zero balance. I'm going to help you out right here, right? Pay it to a zero balance, because that shows that you're trying to turn it around. Then pick up your phone and say, hey, I've had this Macy's card for 5 years. I went through a financial hardship. Listen to my language, right? I recently paid it off in full. I want to know if I qualify to get these 3 late payments removed due to my hardship. Go to them first, because legally they do not have to remove valid late payments. But a lot of times, if you speak to them directly and have shown in good faith that you have paid it down and you explain that it was a hardship and you've had a relationship with them, sometimes that they will actually do it. The last thing, look, I gave you another option. Your last thing is that the credit builder accounts. Now, you paying down the account may give you the boost you need to qualify for a mortgage pre-approval. So you need to like check that. But this is where, if you have to add a credit builder account and make at least 3 to 6 months worth of payments on the credit builder account, that positive payment history is going to counteract those late payments and boost your score high enough to qualify for your mortgage. So you do have options.
And I have a question on that one, Terry, because I always tell people I'm not a licensed credit expert, but sometimes I am forced to ask questions. But in that situation, would you have, if they were to pay it off and not use it anymore and then dispute it, would that help remove the negative feedback that it was late in the past?
Not really. This is where, guys, late payments, and I'm just going to be honest right here, because you asked, one late payment can drop your score up to 100 points. And why? It's because it's on your open available credit. It's detrimental. That's why, nugget right here, I tell everybody, at least have your minimum payment on auto pay. If the card is maxed out, we can pay that later on. But if your minimum payment is $20, at least have that $20 on auto pay so you do not get a late payment. They do not have to leave. They do not have to, like, you paying it down, you not using it. None of them, besides them agreeing to remove it, is they don't have to legally. They can report it for 7 years underneath the Fair Credit Reporting Act. This is why I said, go to them first and see if they'll work with you. You can then go and dispute it with the credit bureau, but we're going to be honest. If you know it was valid late payment and they know it was a valid late payment, they do not have to remove it. Now, sometimes they will through the dispute process, but just know they don't legally have to. That's why I wanted to give you some other workarounds. Great question.
Look at that, live from Terry Calvin.
Live from TC.
On Mortgage Monday Moves. And I think we had one more question, right? What about closed accounts? Well, we talked about that. And then, is it good to use FCRA codes in disputes?
So no, and this is where whoever said that, I love you. That means you've been searching online, you've been listening to some credit repair,
and she about to buy a house. We gonna bring that into fruition.
Listen, this is where, guys, when you guys are disputing things with the credit bureau, you do not have to use a bunch of codes. You do not have to cite a bunch of laws. They know. Remember this when you're disputing things. Less is more. Less is more. Less is more. I tell people to say the account, say the account name, and tell them what you're disputing and what you want the outcome to be. Let me give you an example. I'm disputing Discover. Here is the account number. It's paid in full. Make it a zero balance. I'm disputing Capital One. Here's the account number. It was never late. Delete the late payment. Now, why? Remember, I worked for TransUnion. Regular consumers sound like that. Credit repair people sound like her section 605, blah, 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 blah. We know the Fair Credit Reporting Act. We had to get certified in it, right? So it's a big signal that you may be a credit repair person when you use a whole bunch of legal jargon. Less is more. That was a real nugget right there, y'all.
Boom. Boom. And then I had another good question. If I had my wages garnished, but they were finalized now, should I still dispute it now? I haven't pulled my credit report.
Pull your credit report. Yeah, I think that's when we talk about pull your credit report first, because it may or may not be on your credit, because normally a wage garnishment may go through like HR. It may be on your pay stub. It may not necessarily be on your credit report. So if it's on your credit report, it may be a collection agency. It could be a third party. I haven't seen this in years and years and years, but every now and then there would be like court. I've seen like sometimes child support and things of that nature, but only when it's in default, like a judgment or a civil suit, and the credit bureau stop reporting all of those. So I would say you may be worrying about something that's not even on your reports. So whoever asked that question, thank you for being here. This was meant for you. Your very next best step so that you can take that worry and fear out of this process is to do two things. You can still apply with Natasha because it's a soft inquiry, and pull your credit report on your own so you can see if it's being reported, how it's being reported, and who is reporting it. That way you know how to tackle it.
Awesome. That's all the questions I see. But Terry, I just want to thank you so much. I think that Terry is being very humble. Terry not only does credit repair, she helps you with business credit. I've seen some stuff where she can get you $250,000 in business credit. So she does so much. She is a coach and she does a lot. And to come and take time, with my followers, I really appreciate it. I want to link my followers with people, the best of the best, that can get the information out. We don't have to pay as much money to do every single thing. So I sincerely thank you for joining us tonight. You are amazing as always. And guys, if you have any more questions, I do refer you to Terry when you come over. She does send videos and things like that for you. I let her directly email you. I introduce you, and you can kind of take it from there. If you are somebody that is behind, you're past due on your credit, and you know that you have a 400 credit score, I'm not the website you want to go to first. Like, if you know that you need to work on your credit in full detail, right, then that's when you go to Terry. But if you have those past due balances, you are not ready to buy today, but you will be able to buy, because we're going to get you there, like she talked about, and we'll replay in the video. So like I said, if you know it's below 580, you go directly to credit repair, and that's where we send you. But if you're a little confused, my mother thought her credit was a 580. I pulled her credit, it was an 800, right? That happened to a lot of us, right? So utilize the resources to get where you're trying to go, and understand. And Terry, you said something very amazing to me. A lot of people, it takes years. Some people 40, 50 years old to buy their own home. I was lucky enough to buy my house in my first home in the 20s, and I just did it by fluke. It wasn't even, I was not taught about generational wealth. So with that being said, like, just because you don't apply, just because you don't qualify today, it does not mean it's the end of the road. And if you running around here with good credit and you listening to this video and you don't have access to credit, you are not putting credit in business names if you have the opportunity, so it's not reporting to your credit. If you're not owning a home and taking advantage of building wealth, you know, shame on you, right? It's not time for everybody, but you have all of this information. It's not a scam. It's not too late. And you have more options, right? So we're putting it all on the table for you so that way you can take it and be dangerous. But this is free information for you. And I want to see everybody. I hope we have inspired, encouraged you. I want everybody to own a home, and call 5 more people tonight and tell them owning a home is in 2025. And yes, interest rates are up, as you say, but the same as they were 15 years ago. Now repeat that. They high, but the same as they were 15 years ago. Interest rates are supposed to go up, but they're flat from what they were when I first got into the industry. So we enjoyed some lower rates. Congratulations for those of you who had them. We do have some options for you. Stop refinancing those 2.875s. Fix your credit. Get a line of credit. That's another class on Monday, right? But I want to thank everybody for coming out. I think I have something. Let me see. Okay. If you guys want to apply, if you feel like your credit is ready, you're in that, 620 range, and you're ready to buy, if not, then you can utilize Terry's link for the credit advantage. We'll refer you to Terry if you're not ready. If you are ready, we may be able to advise you on some things to get more ready. You may be ready to buy a house today, but with a few 60 days, maybe I can get you some more free money, or maybe I can get you a lower interest rate, or to a different program, right? So keep in mind that we do have some other things that we can do to help you get to that process here. And required documents for those of you who are scared and in this world. If you're self-employed, yes, I need your tax returns, but sometimes I only need 1 year. And we do have other programs where we can use bank statements. We could do no income. So talk to your loan officer first. Don't just count yourself out. We have a lot of amazing programs nowadays. And for those of you who are not self-employed, stop sending me all your business. I'm just like an attorney. Just need your W-2s and pay stubs. That is it. Do not send me extra documents. Do not write me long letters that tells things that I don't need to know about. This is the basic documents that we need to get you pre-approved, right? And otherwise, let's just stay connected. I am your loan officer, Natasha Robinson, MLS number 332074. And you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and that's my website. And Terry, how do we find you? How do we follow you? We had to scan. It came, it went away. They might not have it anymore.
Yes, absolutely. So on YouTube, I'm going to direct everybody to YouTube, because that's where you will find the full length videos to help you do literally your heart's desire with your personal and business credit. So just my name. If you put Terry Cowser, Couser, Terry Cowser, the credit expert, it will come up. And I literally have a playlist on my first page. It says home buying playlist. Those are the videos specific to home buying. I even talk about house hacking, 203K loans, first time. There's even a whole video on Natasha on their company on how to get approved in 24 hours. So if you go to that playlist, you will get specifically the home buying videos.
Got it. Well, thank you guys. I don't see any more questions. I love seeing all my clients' faces tonight. I really appreciate your support. You look beautiful. I see you, Miss Smith, in the camera. But thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. I really appreciate you. I see some people who we did work with you, and we know we got to fix your credit. So let's work together and let's get you to the finish line. I am here. We are here every Monday for Mortgage Move Mondays at 6 p.m. Hello, Demetria. Let's look at all the cameras coming on. Alicia, let's go. Let's go. We're going to make some move. We need to see the faces of the people that's going to be buying some homes this year, right? So, and we also do a more high-level conversation for lunch on Tuesdays, but we are dropping all the type of gems. I was coached by Terry. She told me to get out here on YouTube, put some videos out. It took me a long time. We're doing it now. So I enjoy and look forward to sharing all this information with you guys. You guys have an amazing, amazing night, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. You all too.
Thank you.
Good night.